Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 15 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's episode is brought to you by TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is a hosted website builder that allows you to quickly and easily get a clean and professional website up and running for your computer or tech-focused business. Save time and frustration with TechSite Builder. Learn more at techsitebuilder.com. And it's also brought to you by the DC Unconvention 2017, the second annual conference for IT business owners. Learn from fellow techs and business owners, get business strategies that work in the real world, and discover new tech. Learn more at unconvention.io. On today's episode, our guest is Brian J. Best, the founder of BestMax. He's going to be on to talk about how marketing isn't just about getting new clients, but it can also be used to help keep your existing clients happy and coming back for more. Plus, what are some tips for marketing in a narrow service niche like an MSP for Macs only? Plus, we answer your questions about whether sending follow-up emails is annoying and if it's worth it to offer a low-cost service to get new customers in the door. All that and so much more coming up right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the TechSite Builder Facebook page and click the following tab, and then select See First so that the stream will jump to the top of your feed when we go live. Happy to see you guys joining us live in Facebook. Love it when you guys can catch the show as it's happening. We love to hear your feedback and your questions. We even sometimes will adjust the direction of the show depending on what you guys are talking about in the Facebook chat. So love if you guys can catch it live. If not, you can always subscribe to the show on computerbusinessmarketing.com. So this is our first episode without Paco, so it feels a little bit empty, and we're going to miss Paco for a while, but we're going to keep moving forward. So we're going to change up the way we're kind of the format of the show before we let Paco kind of talk about what's happening in his business. And since we don't have that anymore, we're going to basically just kind of jump right into the guest feature. And today I'm really happy about it because we have an awesome guest. His name is Brian Best, and he is from BestMax. Brian's story is an awesome one, and we're actually having him as our guest speaker at the Unconvention. And he's going to talk about how he grew his business, the gamut, basically. He grew his business from break fix to retail to MSP, sold his business, and now he's putting together a product that we're going to talk about as well. But today we're going to focus on a marketing aspect that's kind of followed him through all of his different business ventures, and that is marketing to your existing clients. So welcome, Brian. Thanks for being a guest today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm not doing this first episode without Paco alone. So you'll act as my surrogate co-host for today.
I have big shoes to fill. It's yeah,
cool.
We'll do the best we can.
All right, sounds good. So what we'll do then is we'll jump into the Computer Business Marketing Facebook group, because that's an awesome place to go for like real world content and things that are really like that computer business owners and IT service business owners and MSP owners are thinking about. They jump into that group, they ask questions, they ask about things they're struggling with, they ask about, different services or different type of marketing that they can try. So if you guys aren't in the group, it's the Computer Business Marketing Tips and Tricks group. It's a tongue twister. Just type in Computer Business Marketing in Facebook and you should be able to find it. We'd love to have you there. A lot of awesome conversations going on in there. So I wanted to kind of highlight a couple of the conversations that I want to talk about on the show. The first one comes from Jean-Francois, and he says, he asked a question if anyone's doing follow-up emails after a service call. And specifically, he was talking about 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months out. And his specific I guess roadblock to that was he's afraid that he's going to annoy his clients with contacting them too often. So, and we heard a lot of great comments from folks who said, you got to let clients know about you, and remind them about you and check in with them. Some folks said it does, they don't do it because they don't want to be annoying. So people fall on two sides with this. There was a quote from Jason that I think sums up my feelings about it best. And basically he said, if you're not in regular contact with your clients, then some other tech is. So that's something to think about as far as you definitely don't want to be contacting or emailing your clients every day. If you have a newsletter, you can maybe send that out once a month. Once a week is pretty aggressive. Once a month is good. Once a quarter, and then definitely those follow-ups after a service call I think are important, just to let the client know that you're thinking about them, and that you want to make sure that everything's still running good. I think that would be the opposite of annoying. It would be helpful to them. What are your thoughts on that, Brian?
No, I'm in the camp of remind them, as the managed services business, when you're in a managed services business, you've got a value proposition problem in that they're writing you a check every month. Even if they don't see you, they could go months without seeing you and they're still writing that check every month. And the last thing you want is them saying, why the heck am I writing this check? What
Right.
did they do for me this month? So any opportunity you have to prove value, to show concern, to show care, and really that's what you're doing here, right? This follow-up email isn't a sales pitch. It's not a, hey, you got to try my new widget or whatever. It's you're checking in on them to say, hey, that problem we fixed for you last month, is you still doing good? You still doing okay? I'm just checking in. And, and someone who gets annoyed by that, maybe they shouldn't be a client, because really that what you're doing is you're just showing that you care about their situation. And it's giving you the only pitch you're really doing is just staying top of mind. Getting that touch point in with your client. And again, as an MSP, you need to be doing that on a regular basis. Any chance you get to remind them, hey, okay, I remember why I cut this check every month, because these guys are awesome. They take great care of us, and it's an investment.
Yeah, and I think that's a great concept, even to take to the break fix folks who aren't necessarily doing recurring services. Is with the MSPs, you want to show, give them a report or some kind of check in every month. But even with your break fix clients, you want to maybe check in every once in a while, and have the same mindset as you would with an MSP client.
I think for a break fix folk, it's going to be an opportunity. I remember my break fix days where I'd show up at a client and they'd be like, oh yeah, I got this. They got their notepad, right? Here's all the crap that their computer's been doing that they're writing down, and they see you and it's like, unload, here's the notepad, take care of all this.
Yep.
And this is just an opportunity a couple months down the road. Hey, remember, checking in on you, making sure you're okay. I'm not okay. I've been meaning to call you. Here's my thing. And voila, you got more business.
Nice. Yep, exactly. So yeah, I think, I think the resistance to it is mostly just a mental thing. And it's mostly our resistance to not want to feel like we're being that pushy salesperson. But you said it, the emails you're sending aren't sales emails. They're, client care emails. They're checking in, they're making sure that everything's okay. And I think once you just kind of think about it like that, like you're concerned about your client, you should actually be legitimately concerned and want to know that they're, doing okay, and that the work you did is having a good result. And so that's all you're doing. You're just checking in to do that. So.
Yeah, I agree. The concept of annoying a client, I think it could come from a couple of different places. It could come from a confidence thing where you're just not feeling confident in the service you're delivering. But if it's coming from the sleazy salesperson, you're not the used car guy, right? You're delivering real value for your clients. And even if you did include something that's salesy in the email, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as the thing you're including is something that they will get value out of that maybe they haven't thought about. If their email, or let's say it was an issue with their email, and you have a really great email service or a spam filtering service that you're promoting for your clients, they should be on that. According, if you believe in that product, then you believe they should be on that. And it's not about soaking them for more money. It's about providing them a better experience with their computers, and that's what they're paying you for. So yeah, absolutely. Again, it comes back. I don't think they should be annoyed with you. I mean, if you were doing it every day, maybe, but
Yeah.
once every few months,
Right.
nah.
And I think it's a good idea to try to automate that some way, just because because some people think that seems impersonal and it's easier to type it out or whatever, but you probably hopefully have a lot of clients, or you soon will, and it's going to be too much to remember to do that on your own or put it in the calendar or something. So a lot of us use like email marketing software like Aweber or something, or MailChimp. A lot of you guys are using Repair Shopper for stuff like that. So yeah, if you do have a tool to automate that, that's even better, because then you can just put them in the automation loop, and then you're confident that those emails will go out every so often. You won't forget. Cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, it seems impersonal to you because you're automating it. You're still writing the message. What you're not really cognizant of is that the user who receives it doesn't really know that it went to 100 other users or 1,000 other users, or maybe that one of those thousands other users saw it 6 months later. But the message is new to them. Unless they're comparing notes all the time and checking up on you. Oh man, do you see what Joe sent? I got that message from Joe a month ago. What the hell? He didn't write that. They don't know. I mean, so to them, as long as it's a genuine message that you would be happy to send out to your client, it doesn't matter whether it's automated or not.
Awesome. Yep. Great stuff. So hopefully Jean-Francois, that kind of alleviates some of your, your hesitation with that. I think it's a great idea to do that and follow up with your clients. Another topic that came up in the Facebook group was, I asked the question if folks offer a low-cost service to get first-time customers in the door. And a lot of folks had very strong opinions about that. A lot of people said, no, what we offer is what we offer, and we don't. A lot of people feel if they push or promote a low-cost service to get people in the door, that they're going to be attracting the type of client who wants to just pay low prices. So that got people talking back and forth. And one thing that I would throw in there is you don't necessarily need to discount an existing service, or do an existing service for free or something like that. But I'm thinking it could be beneficial, especially for storefronts where you need to get people in the front door, or for break fix folks where you're constantly looking for new clients to come in the door. It might be worth it to offer some sort of lower cost, diagnostic type of situation, and then if it turns into a repair, then you can add that diagnostic fee into the total repair fee, or something like that. But I think it's a good thing to keep in mind if you're first starting out and you're just trying to build up your client base. If you're a break fix guy, or you have a storefront and you need that constant flow of people coming to you to keep the lights on. What do you think, Brian?
I've had a bit of change of heart on this in recent days. If you had asked me this question, 2-3 years ago, I'd have said no way, because our offer is our offer. This is how we do it, and we do it with the all-in, everything included for a flat fee rate with our managed services clients. So, that's the price. You get everything we got. Why would you want anything less? And that's fine for our existing clientele. But it's been a hard pitch to new clients. We've had slam dunk clients. You ever go to pitch a client and they've got a goofy problem they've been struggling with for months, and other people have looked at it, and you go in and you nail it in 5 minutes?
Yes.
Doesn't that feel great?
Yes.
That feels awesome, because it's like, all right, I just nailed this. These guys know I'm awesome, and I totally solved their problem. We had one of those, and it was a bit of an epiphany for me because it was the first one we didn't close. And when I was kind of doing a little bit of postmortem on it, every time I've had that experience in all my years, it's been a slam dunk. That's a client. We're going to have them for life. They love us. This one we couldn't close. And the reason was that, we just were way out of their budget. We couldn't do it. and it started making me wonder, is this why we're not closing as many new deals as we should be? Why our growth has really leveled off is because of the fact that we're really pushing this model down their throats. That there's a certain arrogance to it that this is the way, this is the one true way that we're going to do things. And kind of what I discovered is that we've been forcing people into a yes or no conversation. Yes, you want what we offer, exactly what we offer, to the price we offer it, or no, you don't. What I really want to do when I go into a sales situation is I don't want to do a yes, no. I want to do A, B. Because it's, do you want A or do you want B? No isn't one of those choices. You want
nice.
A or you want
Yeah.
B. And that's kind of what we were doing. We were doing yes, no. So we have recently at BestMax pivoted to that A/B model where
I like that.
we're still doing the all-in, and we still sell that first, and that's our MO. But if they're just like, gosh, that sounds great, but $150 a month per seat, that's too much. We can't do that. All right, well, what if we do a maintenance, monitoring, and backup package? We do that for a lesser rate. How's that sound? Is that a little easier? Oh yeah, that's great.
That's kind of a little bit of the price anchoring thing too, where you lead with the big guns, and then if they're not able to afford that, then they see the value, they see kind of what that kind of thing would cost, and then you're like, oh, but by the way, we also have this more affordable package, and that sounds like a great strategy.
For my purposes, yeah. I mean, somebody mentioned the smaller clients are going to bring in a bunch of clients. I call them mosquito clients. They bite you, they suck your blood, and they're terrible. You just want to swat them, go away. You can't anticipate that, right? So if you're in that repair shop, break fix, time materials billing mode, for you, it's a numbers game. You just got to get as many clients as you can, and then just sort them out after. I mean, if they're not going to be a good fit, okay, great. Well, thank you, Mr. Mosquito. Have a nice life, and we'll move on. But it could also attract somebody who ends up being a fantastic client for you. So yeah, I think, like I said, a couple of years ago, now low cost, no, but now, yeah, definitely.
I don't buy into that, offering a low cost solution is going to necessarily always attract, people who just want to pay low costs. I can see that argument if you discount a service, if you take a service that costs this much, bring that price down. Then people are, those bargain hoppers are gonna jump on it. But some of my best clients I found when I first started out, and I was advertising on Craigslist. And a lot of folks think that's just people who are just looking for the cheapest price. But I was surprised. I got a couple relationships with business clients through Craigslist, just because one afternoon they were looking for help with their website, and all they know is Craigslist because they happened to be surfing Craigslist for something else earlier, and so they jumped on there and they found me, and it turned. I have two clients, one of which is still a client that I got through Craigslist like 4 some years ago.
Wow.
So
what'd you post it under? Did you post under services like computer services or no kidding?
Yeah, I believe so. It was for my WordPress services. So I think it helped that it was a niche service. That way I wasn't competing with all the flood of people saying hey, I fix computers, generic kind of computer repair stuff. It was very specific. So I think that helped. But yeah, I mean, I was just kind of desperate and trying to get clients any way I could, and it I did get those cheap clients, but you can catch those guys pretty quickly. I mean, you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
They're always trying to negotiate, and they're always asking you what this costs and what that costs, and so as long as you can.
Gosh, this is expensive. Why? What'd you do for this? Yeah, good luck. Yeah, so, good luck, dude.
Yeah, and you catch them, and then you just let them go. If they don't want to pay your prices, you swat the mosquito, right?
That's exactly. Right. Yeah, but like you said, you can't anticipate that. We don't know that ahead of time, and you're probably going to get some good clients out of that deal. So don't, swat the mosquitoes when they come. Know they're coming. Don't be offended by it. Just get rid of them as fast as you can, and take the good ones and grow them.
Dave says he's stealing the mosquito client phrase.
He's
That's a
heard me
good
say
one.
that.
I like it. It invokes that, that sucking feeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool. I
absolutely.
like that.
But
Cool.
there's mosquitoes outside, but you still want to go out and enjoy the campfire and the outdoors and all that, and
There you
just
go.
swat them and get rid of them. No big deal.
Get rid of them. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for that insight. That's great. I think hopefully that helped you guys who were kind of on the fence of some of those issues. I know a lot of folks were against offering some sort of low cost service for first time customers, but it can work. And these are all things that you got to test in your business and see if it does work out. Some businesses that might not be the best fit, and you just gotta kind of see how that works out for you. But definitely worth a shot, I think. Awesome. So we're going to jump into the featured topic with the interview with Brian here. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our first sponsor, and that is TechSite Builder. TechSite Builder is the place to go if you want to build a website for your computer business. What we've tried to do with TechSite Builder, and I think we've done well, is to make it very easy and quick to get a very effective website up and running. So a lot of folks who are using TechSite Builder will comment to me that they were spending days, weeks, even months, slowly working on their computer business website and piecing it together using the services that are out there, and they didn't have a direction. They didn't know what to do. They didn't have a focus of where to go with their website. And that's kind of what TechSite Builder does. When you sign up for TechSite Builder, we have a series of videos that kind of walk you through setting up your website and where you need to put the important information. And those videos take about 30 minutes to watch. And then it takes about another 30 minutes or so to do everything that those videos talk about. So I'd say if you're focused and you're working specifically on just getting your website going, you could probably do it in about an hour, get your website up and running. And that's really what we try to focus on with TechSite Builder, is just focusing on computer business owners. So we give you, a spot to put your phone number, a spot to put your address if you're a storefront. We have a place to put testimonials, a place to put your service listings. And then we have text that's on your website to give you an idea of what is good copy to go on your website. So you just take the text we have and you can change it, you can replace it, you can fill in your own business name in certain places. So we kind of get the ball rolling for you, so you're not staring at a blank canvas. And that's kind of like the writer's block thing, where the writer sits down and he's staring at the blank page and he just doesn't know where to start or what to write. And so we try to get you over that writer's block mentality with TechSite Builder, give you a template that's kind of filled out a little bit, and then you can just add your own stuff. But beyond that, it's pretty powerful. So you can take the website and just change it around and make it truly your own if you have the time and the energy and the know-how to do that. Also, we offer a concierge service. So if you sign up and you find that you don't even have the time to walk through those videos, then just click a button and we'll set it up for you for a small additional fee. So really, if you have a website that you've just been neglecting, if it's hard to update, if you started it in 2000 and it's got like the flash animations and stuff that that really kind of date your site.
Blink, blink, blink.
Yes. Yeah, if any of that is you, then I'd ask you to give TechSite Builder a shot. Check it out at techsitebuilder.com. All right, guys, let's jump into the feature topic, and that is with Brian Best. He is the owner of Best Macs, and he grew his businesses from break fix to retail to MSP. Now he's just about to launch an exciting product. We're going to talk about that soon. But I just wanted to welcome Brian and give you an opportunity to kind of give folks the quick, I know it's a long story, but the quick kind of elevator pitch of where you got started and then how you found yourself at where you are today.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, man. It's been a wild 20 some odd years here. Started in IT, just doing, repair jockey at a homebrew computer shop. Went to an Apple service provider, got my first job as a Mac tech. Did time as a sysadmin in education, dealing with network administrator at every school that had a Mac in the region that I grew up in. Started Best Macs in '99, and that was just me putting on a suit and tie, walking around to places that I knew would have Apple gear and knocking on doors asking if I could fix their computers. That went pretty well. Supplemented that with doing on-site training. So I'd fly around the country 26 weeks out of the year, teaching people how to fix Apple gear, how to fix a Mac, and then in hotel rooms and in seminar type environments, and then opened up a repair retail shop, again Apple authorized service and sales shop, which was miserable. Oh, the horror stories. Come to Unconvention. Wow. You're not going to believe the horror story.
Nice.
Anyway, so that was an interesting learning experience. Let's just leave it at that. It was such a learning experience. And then in 2010, got out of that in late 2009, pivoted to managed services in 2010, went all in on the managed services concept, and went from there. You've heard me saying, Apple, Mac, and that's kind of, I like to call us bizarro IT because we're a little weird. If you know the Superman reference, in that we only do Apple gear. And that was a conscious choice I made in '99. I was going to just see, hey, can I make a business that only does Mac and make a living out of it? And it turned out the answer was yes. Of course, obviously that was right at the beginning of Apple's, ascension. And I've been riding that wave. So when I went managed services, the challenge was, of course, that there weren't a lot of tools for the Mac. So I ended up writing my own to do things like automated maintenance and patch management and so forth. A few years down the road, some of my colleagues in the Apple bubble, which is its own story in and of itself, but the Apple bubble folks were like, hey, what are you using? I'm using this. Brian, what are you using? I wrote my own. Wow, really? What's it do? It does this, this, and this. Take my money. Yeah, so I spun that off into a software as a service in its own business, and that was about 18 months after I rolled that out. That was acquired by Logic now, which is now SolarWinds MSP. And I'm doing, cool. I'm directing their Apple strategy at SolarWinds MSP. And integrate, making sure they don't mess up the intellectual property they bought from me. So.
Yeah, nice. Babysitting, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So I got two hats. I got my SolarWinds MSP hat, and I still own Best Macs. I'm not in it day to day, but that's a new service that we're getting ready to launch at Best Macs. Really excited about that, and I've been kind of working with my team on that. And getting that. Cool. But that's the long and that's the really short version.
Right.
And we're gonna pick some great nuggets out of that at Unconvention and talk more about those.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. And what I love about that story is something that I kind of advocate, and I've advocated for a while. And the reason I got into WordPress web design and stuff myself is I'm a big fan of finding a niche and dominating that niche and being an expert in it. And I think when you do that, you don't necessarily need to try as hard to find clients. You don't need to work as hard to express your value proposition. And I love hearing that you've been so successful focusing on Macs, because I know there's folks out there who are always who are break fix or even MSPs who work only on Windows, and they're like, I don't want to put in the effort to learn Mac or service it or support it because I just don't think there's enough demand for it out there or whatever. And it's awesome that you've been able to build an entire business around just that. Even when there's, Genius bars and Apple service and stuff that is out there, you've still been able to carve your own groove in that market.
Yeah. Well, that's the, that's the crux of the new service we're offering, is we're talking to folks who get Apple gear and have an opportunity to get into Apple gear, but they're just like, no, it freaks me out. I don't really want to deal with that, et cetera, et cetera. Our new service is about helping them over the hump and being able to take on that business. But that, dovetailing into the topic of the day, that's really why, we talk about marketing. For me, and in the history of Best Macs, marketing to the general masses, name a type of marketing you might do. It was almost a waste. We knew that, like, if we ran early on, we ran a phone book ad, right? And I knew that 90%, phone book ad, I'm dating myself. But we knew that 90% of the people who saw that ad were never going to call. And we still got calls. We're like, can you come fix my Dell? No. But it's got an iMac in the ad. It's like, really? Your Dell? But in any case, So we knew that 90% of it was going to be a waste. So I made a decision very early on that our marketing efforts were going to be really targeted, and we were going to grow. I mean, there's lots of ways to grow a business. One of them is to go wide and get lots and lots of clients. The other one is to go deep and get, concentrate on your clients that you already have and on these core clients, and grow them, make them bigger, and sell them more stuff, get more stuff from them, and provide more value to them is the most important thing.
Yeah, it was funny when we were talking about, what the topic we were gonna focus on, and I said, let's find a marketing angle, and you're like, well, I haven't really needed to do much traditional marketing for my businesses, and then you mentioned that most of the marketing I do is to my existing clients, and I'm like, hey, that's perfect, because that's still marketing, and that's still conveying your value to your potential clients, which in this case are your current clients, but still, they don't need to come back to you, or they can have maybe not had a contact with you for a while, forgot about, that they hired you for something, and then they go off looking somewhere else and find someone else. So maybe we can kind of, I don't know, talk about how you handled marketing to your existing clients through the different phases of your business.
Sure.
Like how did that work when you were a break fix shop? I mean,
well, when you're break fix, it's always like, I see this client, I work with them, I fix their computer, they're super happy, they cut the check, they're back up and running, right? When am I going to see them again? Next time something breaks, right? So the idea was, well, how can I get to see them a little more frequently? One of the things we did early on was we'd sell time blocks. So, and this is a common thing that a lot of time materials folks do, buy 10 hours in advance or buy 4 hours in advance, and I'll discount. And we'll do that. And that's one way to say, hey, look, you can call them and say, here's your statement. You still have 2.5 hours left in your time block. You got anything going on? Right. Obviously, they've already paid for that. The other is, and I see this a lot now for folks who aren't necessarily, embracing the managed services model makes them a little queasy. It's not something they really feel comfortable with, but just finding some sort of recurring service that they could offer, be it backup or, Office 365 or any other kind of email type solution, anti-malware, some sort of recurring solution that doesn't necessarily require a lot of your time and generates monthly recurring, gives you an opportunity to see that client more frequently and get in the door with them. The beauty part about marketing to an existing client is they already trust you. They already know you. Hopefully, if you left them with a good experience and you took care of business for them, and this dovetails with a follow-up email, they're not going to get annoyed with you. They like you. You did great by them. They're happy. So here's your opportunity to say, well, hey, here's something else that might make you happy.
Right.
And grow from there.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's I think with the break fix folks, it's all about keeping in contact with the client and just checking in, like we talked about earlier with the Facebook group topic. Just making sure you stay top of mind with those guys. But then when we're thinking about the MSP clients and that kind of model, you're already kind of in a consistent contact with those clients, but you still need to or you want to continue to convey the value that you're offering them, and why are they paying you every month for this stuff?
Right.
And what are some tips or some things you found that kind of help with that part?
Well, one of the things we did in the software that we ended up writing and selling was we put in a pop-up dialogues that kind of say, hey, we need you. And it was a necessity thing, really, but it was a double-edged sword in that the necessity was, I can't install this patch while you're logged in. Right, I need you to log off and let me install this patch. And when we were doing that by hand before we went managed services, it was easy. We were like, we were the computer guy, get out, move, and Nick Burns, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do my thing. But now it's like I can't really do that because of the fact that this thing's going to be automated. It's going to fire at some various part of the day. Yep. So we put a little dialog box that appears in the upper right-hand corner of their screen and says, hey, we need you to log out. And it's got our branding. So and then they log off and a progress bar comes up. And again, it's got our branding. It's we actually got somebody who emailed me one Sunday and was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you're working on Sunday." I'm like, "What?" I'm not. It's football season. I'm not working on Sunday. Are you kidding?
Oh, they thought you were like live.
Yeah, they thought I was there. They logged. The thing came up. They logged off. And
That's funny.
They're
Nice.
Like, but it's that touch point, completely automated touch point of well, yeah, we're always working for you. We're working for you 24/7.
Nice.
In your managed services plan. So even little touches like that, it's not an advertisement, but it's marketing. You're getting mind share with your customers. So they see, okay, yeah, I'm getting value here. It's Sunday afternoon and this thing is getting patched, which means more secure, more stable. And it's because of my relationship with this organization that's happening.
Yeah, I think those are all great points. And it just comes back to always staying in contact, and any way you can, whether it's automated or whether it's a pop-up. There are different apps you can use for that, or whether it's through email or a phone call or texts or Facebook Messenger, whatever you do. And I encourage you to explore all those touch points with your clients, because you might find that there's Facebook Messenger is like a big thing now, and a lot of people, especially like if you're residential focused, a lot of folks are hanging out in Facebook all day. And so if you pop in Facebook saying, "Hey, how's your computer doing?" Wow, what other service provider is doing that? And it's not no pressure. It's just you're almost like their neighborhood computer guy, just stopping by. Like in the old days when the milkman would knock on your door and give you the milk. It's the same kind of thing. And I think it's worth exploring. And surprisingly, not a lot of other IT service businesses out there are doing a lot around that. They service a client and then they move on to the next client, and they don't work on building that relationship.
Yeah, it cracks me up when I'm, so this doesn't happen to me, but I've seen this on some friends' Facebook posts who are also in this business, where they get a client that says, "Hey, Bob, I'm having this issue." And it's just this post. They went on Bob's wall and they wrote down this issue they're having as though it was like a work ticket. It just slays me every time. And,
That's funny.
That's great. I mean, they love you enough that they're going to be friends with you on Facebook and they're going to put this question up. So on one hand, you could get annoyed, like, really? I have a ticketing system for this, right?
Yep.
But on the other hand, you could look at it and be like, wow, that's a great relationship. You cannot, it's really hard to fire a friend, right? I mean, and they're not going to go looking elsewhere for support if you're responsive to that. And you can kind of correct them and say, "Hey, listen, I'd really like this to go here," and be nice about it. It helps me if you put it in here instead of on Facebook. But I love the fact that you reached out, wanted to talk to me, and got it to me that way.
So I have a story about that. So I have a website client of mine who would consistently ping me on Google Chat. And I had, I didn't even know at the time how he found me on Google Chat, but I guess I had a Gmail account and he had a Gmail account. And he was able to find me. So, he'd always just like hop on in like just one sentence or a quick word. And it would really get on my nerves because I wasn't prepared to handle that kind of thing. And every time he did that, I would say, "Would you please, submit this in the ticket, or please, send me in an email. I have no way to track this stuff." But he just wouldn't, he was used to doing it, and he didn't understand, or I'm sure he understood. He just figured I'm responding to him in chat. So he'll keep sending me the chats. So eventually I'm like, okay, I love, being able to chat with you. So I have this new package where chat responses are included in that service package. And the price was, higher for that privilege, but I was able to add that as a service and let him continue to do that. And it was more of a mindset shift for me, where I needed to be able to have a system around taking those chats, adding it to my ticket, but then just responding back to the chat. And so for that time that I put into working out that system, I just charged a little bit extra for the hourly blocks that he was paying. And it worked out. So, I mean, that's something that you can do if clients are reaching out to you in these places where you feel like it doesn't fit in with your process. You could maybe look into fitting it into your process, and then
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of how we do it. My traffic manager Jamie at BestMax, we've had conversations about this, that we could tell clients, look, if it's urgent, you call. right? Because we might not look at our Zendesk for like 4 hours or a couple hours or whatever and route tickets accordingly. But if it's urgent, we got to have a phone call. So we know it's like, okay, drop everything and get on this, right? We'll still get somebody who emails, server's down, really, in an email. Okay, yeah, sure, server's down. I got my spam filter. I didn't see your server was down. But, we've just tried to realize that we can't control what a client's going to do on that. We can set expectations. We can say, hey, look, if it's urgent, call. If it's you want it same day, do an SMS or note it in the email or whatever. So we can put these things and line things up the way we want them done. But ultimately, the customer's going to do what the customer's going to do. I mean, they're just going to.
They're comfortable, that's where they're comfortable, right? And you want to have your clients be comfortable when they're communicating with you. Some people don't like talking on the phone and they're just uncomfortable with it. Others, aren't good at communicating ideas in written word. They're not good with emails. So you want to, have a system where your clients are comfortable, and that goes back to it's not really marketing, but it is, because you're keeping those clients happy, and then they're going to go refer you to other people who ask about your types of services, and they're going to be your biggest cheerleader, and that is marketing.
Yeah, customer experience is the first step in marketing. Yeah. I mean, if you are trying to, marketing to internal clients, one of the biggest pieces of that is referral business, right? Can you tell me somebody like you who might be in need of my service? Can you introduce me to somebody like you who might be in need of these services? You're a great client. I like working with you. I want to find someone just like you and work with them too. But they're not going to do that for you if they're not happy. And if you're constantly griping at them, dude, you're supposed to call when it's urgent. Stop calling when you should be emailing, and stop doing. You're Mr. Grumpfish. I mean, nobody wants to work with you. You're going to be grumpy with them. They're hesitant to call. I want them to call. I want them to do whatever they're comfortable with, to reach out to us and ask us for whatever they want, and we'll respond and handle it accordingly. And so we'll just adjust. And we'll do it. We'll set the expectations and hope they kind of do follow that. And some of them will, but no, we'll handle them however they come and keep them happy so that they're willing to do those referrals for us.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. So I challenge everybody to just think about your interactions with your existing clients every step of the process, when you onboard them, to when you're doing the service, to when you're done with the service, and then the follow-up you do after the service is done, and make sure you're doing whatever you can to keep them on board, and you're thinking about it from a marketing point of view, that you're trying to convey value. You're trying to got to keep winning over those clients, even if they're your client for life. Clients can be fickle, and they can, there's a shiny object on the horizon and they go chase after that. So you want to continue to let them know that you're the best choice for them.
I'm really glad you said that phrase, client for life, because in reality, there is no such thing. A client will drop you like that. If you start doing them wrong, if they start being unhappy, if they start thinking that, he's not as good as he used to be, or his employees aren't as good as he was, or, something like that. So every interaction, customer service is dead. Customer experience is everything. Nice. And customer experience means that every single time they interact with you, and it doesn't matter whether it's social media or email or phone or SMS or in person, every time, or even your automated pieces that are in your RMM tool, every single time they interact with you, it's got to be a great experience for them. And so part of, if you're marketing internally and trying to grow them, you got to pay attention to the customer experience on every single touch point. And make sure it's good.
I think that's a great note to end on. So thanks for being a guest. Let's dig in a little bit to the Be Smart service that you're getting ready to launch any minute now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, as soon as I can get time in front of the website, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we're going to take it live for everybody. We have some content up now that folks can check out. So one of the things I've been experiencing over the past few years is coming from Windows IT professionals who would say, hey, can you tell me how to do blah in your software? I'm like, well, our software doesn't really do that. You go, yeah, but you're a Mac guy. Can you help me understand this? And I'm just like, well, wait a second. You're an IT professional. You do computers and networks for a living. thinking, well, why are you not touching this stuff?
Right.
Especially when you look at Apple market share and you look at the Mac by itself, the Mac by itself, you think, oh, well, iPhone, iPad's the big deal. And you're right. But the Mac itself is still a huge business, and it's growing even when the rest of the PC industry is shrinking. So there's huge opportunity there. And I think people are just turning it away for a variety of reasons. And I think one of the main reasons is that they feel uncomfortable. There's a weirdness to it, and they're worried they're going to get in over their head. They're going to take what normally to them, if it were Windows and it was a real simple problem, they'd get into Windows and they knock it out and everything would be fine. But the exact same problem on a Mac, they're just like, whoa, this is weird. I don't know what to do with this. And what I want to try to help do is help IT professionals, both independents, like folks who might be watching this, and folks in-house, do Apple support, do Mac and iOS support. And, a lot of folks have said, well, I've tried it and it's terrible. And it was an awful experience for my customer. Well, what if you had a partner that's been in a business for almost 19 years now and has a combined 60 plus years of Apple support experience? And so that's Be Smart. It is a low monthly membership fee to give you everything that you would need to be successful in taking on Apple, Mac, and iOS support.
Oh, nice. So yeah. Is it like a membership system where you go in and you get these resources, or what does it look like?
Yeah, so we're providing training materials. We're providing the same training materials my team uses, which are short, less than 5-minute videos on different topics. Awesome. We're providing content, deep dive how-tos on how to do certain things, free Apple tips that you can convey to your users. You can get those now. Actually, we can start sending Apple tips every week that you can convey to your users to show your expertise in Apple, that you're taking that on. Even things like marketing advice and how to market to users that, hey, you're doing Apple stuff now in addition to your Windows stuff. Cool. And if you need it, if you're just you got a Mac in front of you and it's like, God, what is going on with this thing? Me and my team will be available to you on a permanent basis. So rather than having to Google something and spend an hour Googling it, you can just get on the horn with my team and we can take care of it and get it taken care of for you, or just give you that extra little bit of info you need to get over the hump.
Oh, that's awesome. I think there's a lot of folks who are going to find value in that, because I keep hearing, and I mentioned this before, that, they're interested in offering Mac support, but it's a new concept to folks who've lived in Windows for their entire life. And it's a little bit scary and the Wild West or just a uncharted frontier, whatever you want, however you want to call it.
I call it driving. If you're an American, it's like driving in England.
There you go.
You know how to do it. It's just, it's on the other side
very
of the
different
street. So, but yeah, and it's just weird enough that it can throw you off your game. And what we want to try to do is reduce that weirdness for everybody. And if you look at what you could do out there, it's very realistic to say you could grow your top line revenues by 15% just by taking on a platform that it's a little different, but it's still within your core competency. You can totally do it.
Cool. So where can folks find out more about Be Smart?
Sure. You can visit us at besmart.bestmacs.com. That's besmart.bestmacs.com.
Awesome. Great stuff, man. I'd like you to stick around. I'm going to try something a little different. What we normally did in the podcast was, after I did the second sponsor slot, we would do a marketing tip of the week. But what I'm going to try this episode is to do kind of a rapid fire question and answer thing. So I'll just have a handful of questions around marketing that I'll ask you and get your kind of just off the cuff answer to, and see how that goes. But before we do that, let's do a quick shout out to our second sponsor. And actually, you can help me with the sponsor spot, because the sponsor is the Unconvention. Nice. And the Unconvention is the DC Unconvention 2017. It's the event this year for IT business owners. It's September 16th and 17th in lovely Washington, D.C., which is just a half an hour drive for me, which is why I helped put together this one. And we're really excited about it. One of the reasons we're very excited about it is this man here. Brian Best is going to be our featured speaker. And Brian, you're going to kind of walk us through the lessons you learned as you grew your business through all these different phases, break, fix. You mentioned some horror stories around the storefront and the retail
Everyone loves
shop.
war stories, right? Everyone loves the horror stories. So, well, I don't want to necessarily say, hey, I've been there, done that. You can do it exactly like I do. Like I'm a, grandpa telling you how to do everything. But, share with you some stories that I've done along the way that you could take home and think about your own situation, see if they apply to you, and improve your business with them.
Yeah, and I think Brian is going to be there the entire weekend, and he's a great resource.
Oh, yeah.
So, he'll be hanging out. You can pick his brain about if you're, wanting to up your Mac support game, and you want to, get some insights into that. He'll be talking for part of it, but then he'll be hanging out the rest of the time, and that's really what the Unconvention is all about. Is the just hanging out with like-minded folks and picking each other's brains. We're going to have work groups where we sit down in a small group and help each other with our problems around a specific part of your business, whether it's the marketing or the productivity. We'll be able to kind of say, hey, I'm struggling with this. And then the folks in the group, it's like a therapy session. Like, hey, my name is Matthew Rodella. And yeah.
How many times do you get to go to a place? I mean, how many times do you get to go to a room with a whole bunch of your peers and just talk shop? I mean, that's the best part of going to a convention like this. Yeah, you're going to learn stuff. You're going to see great speakers, great content, and your head's going to be full of stuff that you want to do when you get home. And a lot of that is just hanging and talking with your buddies, your peers, people who do what you do in a different part of the country, sharing a drink of your choice, a beverage of your choice, and just you can go. It's going to blast. It's so much fun. I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. Me too. I'm really looking forward to it. And we're really focusing on that aspect of it. So it's not a bunch of people just talking to you the whole time. It's, small groups, it's networking. It's every presentation that we have, we're going to have time at the end for Q&A, and it's going to be a dialogue. It's just not going to be we're talking at you kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Another thing I'm really excited about that we're just kind of getting the finishing touches on here is the food.
Nice.
I've had the hard job of going around to different restaurants in DC and trying out their food and seeing. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it, man. I know.
Man, sacrificing for us. I appreciate that.
So I've found some awesome places where we're getting local places. So the food we're getting it's not from chain restaurants. It's not from places that you've ever tried before, unless you've been in DC. We've got a cool Latin place where we're going to get some tacos and some of the sandwiches from, and then we've got a cool local deli that's going to have some sandwiches they're going to provide us. And we've got a couple pastry shops that are going to be giving us some cool dessert treats and that kind of thing. So come hungry. That's all I can say.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
So check it out at unconvention.io. If you're listening to this podcast, you can use the promo code TSB, and that's going to get you $40 off your admission to the conference. And that's just our gift to you as being a loyal watcher and listener of the show. So head on over to unconvention.io, use promo code TSB, and Brian and I will see you in DC. All right, so let's do this new thing I want to try, see how it goes. So I'll just ask you a question, Brian, and then the first answer that comes into your head, you can give it to me. So the first question is, what do you think is the biggest mistake that business owners are making with their marketing?
Biggest mistake people are making with their marketing. Ooh, that's a good one. I'd probably say, and this is a little biased, but I'm terrible at social. I'm really bad at it. And I've tried a lot of times to really get good at Twitter and Facebook and really engaging in social. Social is a tactic, right? I mean, it shouldn't be the crux of your strategy, of your marketing. Marketing needs to be a holistic plan to, about your business. And if social is your whole thing, if that's what you're lasered in on and spending 90% of your effort on in marketing, you're missing the point. It's got to be just a small piece of the pie.
I like that. So taking a kind of a holistic approach, but making sure you're at least trying these different avenues, and social being one of those, I think is you can definitely get some traction there.
Yep.
All right. What kind of, and I know you said you didn't have much experience with this, but if maybe more recently you had, or even if maybe it's just an idea that you've heard from other folks, but what do you think is the best kind of paid marketing that gives you kind of the biggest bang for your buck?
Yeah, like I said in the at the beginning, when you're doing the Apple stuff, 90% of anything you'd spend money on is going to be a total waste because all those people are going to see it. They're like, I don't use a Mac, who cares? And then it's going to go away. So I haven't really done a whole lot of that. Obviously, with Be Smart being what it is, we're attacking that with a broader marketing strategy. So bang for the buck. I mean, ask me again in 6 months from now, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, and I think like maybe something where you could target like AdWords, or something where you can target like my Mac is broken or something like that.
Yeah,
around your niche.
To some degree, yeah, because but we're niche of a niche, and that we're target. We're not trying to do the Genius Bar thing. We're not trying to repair glass in somebody's iPhone. So it's been a kind of a hard deal. But yeah, Facebook marketing, Twitter marketing is something we're looking at. AdWords is something that we're looking at. Press releases are still a thing. So getting out there with press and talking to different channel editors. Now that may not be something that's going to hit the masses. But anytime you can kind of do something like that, charitable sponsorships, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. So we talk a lot about in this podcast, we talk a lot about, not every client is going to be a good client for you. And you want to kind of try to find those ideal clients and work with your quote unquote ideal client. So what in your estimation is a good way to attract your ideal client to your business?
Well, it's what we talked about a little bit earlier. Mr. Customer, you are my ideal client. Do you know anybody like you who needs some help? And can you introduce me to them?
Yes.
Because that way you're not going in cold. You've got, your client talking to somebody they know and saying, hey, this is my guy. I'd like you to meet him. And some of our best clientele have come from that method, where
just reach out to your best clients.
Yeah, I went into a meeting with a prospect. And I didn't realize this, but the CEO of one of my bigger clients had already called them and said, hey, here's the guy you need to talk to. So I'm going to the meeting thinking it's cold. They're calling me out of the street. And I'm doing my pitch. I'm like, here's my thing. Here's what we do. And he's like, look, I got another meeting. Let's just cut to the chase. This person says you're awesome, so you're hired. Just tell us how much it's going to be. We can go. I'm like, really?
That's the best.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
cool. And then the final question is, who should I interview next?
Ooh, wow. Who should you interview
Talking
next?
About referrals. I'm asking you. You've been a great guest. So any other great guests?
Wow, thank you. I don't know, but I'll come up with an answer for you.
That's one you can get back to me on.
Yep. All right. Sounds good. I will find somebody.
Awesome, Brian. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Thanks again for being a guest. And folks, come to the Unconvention. We're going to have a lot more fun in store for you there. So let's keep the conversation going for now. If you want to head over to computerbusinessmarketing.com, and that's, if you're listening to the recording of this, that's where you can find the show notes for this episode. We'll have links to everything we talked about over there, so you can check it out. Also, if you have questions or feedback, you can send them via email at mail@techsitebuilder.com, or you can just visit computerbusinessmarketing.com and leave a comment over there. We have a contact form and everything. Also, if you listen on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to give us a shout out and leave a review. We love to hear your feedback, and every comment you leave us helps so that we can be found by others on those platforms. Finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Unconvention.io and TechSiteBuilder.com. Thanks for checking out the Computer Business Marketing Show. My name is Matthew Rodella, saying here's to your success.